Hey there YouTube, Corn Cob Piper coming at you. It is Friday evening. Hope everyone is having a great start to their weekend. So I wanted to come at you guys with a video this evening. I know most of us, as the weather's getting hotter and it gets unbearably hot down here in Southwest Florida, we are always on the lookout for a great hot weather smoke. I believe that I have found my personal favorite hot weather smoke. I just smoked a bowl earlier. It's close to 100 degrees out there today with probably 80% humidity, so very, very hot and humid. And I went ahead and took this outside and tried it out there, and it was pretty much everything that I was looking for in a hot weather smoke. And the tobacco that I'm referring to is Cornell and Deal Havana Daydream. This is a, let me find my notes here. This is a black Cavendish cigar leaf, a Latakia, Perique, and Virginia blend. And as you can see here, hopefully it is pretty much a ribbon cut or a coarse cut. However, I did find some big chunks, and I don't know if it's always like this or if I just got a little bit that was like that. Big chunks of some Virginia flake, which I had to go ahead and rub out into the mix because it was more like a broken flake, I guess, is what I found. But this is very, very just a cool, semi-sweet, just great all-around smoke. The bag note, as you pick up, basically some sweetness and yeastiness from the dark Virginia, and then I pick up the Latakia as well. I'm not really getting any sourness. Smell from the Perique, maybe just a hint of it. And when smoked, this is kind of, very, I guess, vapor-esque. Reminds me a lot of a vapor, but with more on the Virginia side, I guess, than the Perique. It's not very spicy at all. When smoked, I have a hard time actually picking out the Perique. And the Cavendish definitely cools everything down and makes it extremely smooth. When smoking it, you'll pick up little wisps of the Latakia and a wisp every now and again, like I said, of the spiciness from the Perique. And then the addition of the cigar leaf really is what I think pulls this tobacco together. It's very, very earthy, and it just rounds out this tobacco to a great finish. And everything in this tobacco, in my opinion, blends together the way it should. This is probably one of the best blended tobaccos I've ever tried, as everything is in the correct, proper proportion. In the same way that if you've ever had Penzance, everything proportionally is just perfect. I find it to be the same here in the Havana Daydream. So this one has instantly gone ahead and made a place in my summer rotation. I'm going to go ahead and probably order up 4 more ounces of this stuff. Normally, I smoke a couple bowls a day. I'll smoke a bowl of something and then I'll switch to something else. I am now going to be smoking my second bowl of this Havana Daydream. This stuff is that good. Smoking it in my Dagner Cobb. Man, this stuff is, even from the char light, so good. So in my opinion, sorry about that phone ringing. In my opinion, I would call this the perfect hot weather summer smoke. Once again, Cornell and Deal Habana Daydream. So another thing that I've been reading up on a lot, or seeing, is a lot of you like to smoke Burley blends in the summer. As a lot of you know that have been watching my videos, I've been on the search for some Burley blends that I enjoy for quite a while, and I've actually been stockpiling Burleys. So every time I was placing an order or whatever, I'd throw an ounce of some kind of Burley, mostly from JL Peretti, or LJ Peretti, and Cornell and Deal. They're probably the two most famous blenders for making great Burley blends. So I've decided to do, I guess, a little experiment for myself in, hunting for some Burley blends to enjoy. What I'm going to do is tomorrow will be July 1st. I am, for the month of July, being as it's Independence Day, July 4th, known as American Celebration Month. I am going to go ahead and smoke only the most American of pipe tobaccos, which are Burley blends. And I'm going to take you along. I'm going to do reviews of all these Burleys. And I'll do like a 5-star rating. By the way, I'm smoking from my Dagner Cobb. So 5-star rating. Anything that gets a 3 stars and above will get revisited. Anything that gets below 3 stars will go into the I'm not going to smoke again bag. And we'll do some kind of, I'll do some kind of giveaway or send some stuff off at the end of the month. Just of all the stuff that I'm not planning on smoking again. Because you'll see what I'm working with here is a huge bag of Burley. I think I got about 20 different kinds in there, something like that. So pretty much enough to smoke one a day for the first few weeks of this month of July. And then I'll revisit the ones that I like the most towards the end of the month. And I will narrow it down to the 3 that I like the most, and they might make their way into my rotation. Now, as I mentioned plenty of times before, I'm not a huge Burley fan. It's not that it's a taste thing for me. I don't find them to be gross or anything like that. For me, I just find them to be very underwhelming. When I smoke a Burley blend, for the most part, I don't feel satisfied when I'm done. So I'm hoping with this experiment, the taste will grow on me, and I'll find myself, after smoking them for so much, that at some point I will start craving them. And this takes me back to when I was younger. I was always a whiskey drinker. I never much cared for beer. But when you're young, beer is cheap, and whiskey can get quite expensive. So I found myself over a summer, drinking beer instead of whiskey. And then when I was finally able to afford whiskey again, started drinking again, I found myself at some point craving the beer. So I went from a person who really didn't care for beer at all, and by drinking it for a prolonged period of time, became someone that ended up, even to this day, enjoying beer from time to time. And I'm hoping, this works the same way with the Burley tobaccos. And if not, I guess I just have to, admit that I'm not a Burley guy, and they'll just probably never end up in my rotation. But I'm hoping that it's the latter, and I'll end up liking, at least a few of these blends quite a bit, and they will make their way in the rotation. So I'm going to put together, I guess, a series of Burley reviews coming up this month. We'll call it Puffin Burley. It'll be the Puffin Burley series. And I'll take you through each of these. I think like I said, I got 21 or 22 different kind of Burleys I'm going to go through. I take you through my journey, give you a review, at least from my standpoint, and just something fun to do. I am going to make 2 exceptions to my only smoking Burley for the month of July, and that is I have 2 blends that I just mixed up last week. They will be ready next Sunday, and I'm going to need to sample them just to see if I need to tweak the recipe at all any. But that will be my only exception. One of them will be on camera because it's going to be basically a VR to Wharf Valley Boy. That's really all I got. So I'm pretty excited about my Burley journey. I got the 4th of July coming up. I guess the most significant American holiday in my opinion. And, Burley forward tobacco blends are definitely the most notorious of the, I guess not notorious, but the most well-known of the American-style tobaccos. So I just thought it would be a fun thing to do for the month of July. And I'm a history guy too, so maybe while I'm doing some of these reviews, we'll throw in some American history stories or something like that as well. So YouTube, thanks for watching, and as always, keep on piping.